All right, we're back for another episode of The Ox and the Rat. I'm your host, The Ox.
And I'm the Rat.
Rat, what's new and exciting in your part of the world?
Christmas is coming. That's what's exciting. It's a few decorations. We put up the tree last week. Got a real tree.
What? Really?
Yeah. I had a real tree last year too, but got a bigger one this year.
Where
lights
are
on.
you talking about in your house?
At my girlfriend's house.
Oh,
it's
right.
a bigger place.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember much of a ceiling.
That's good. We got, yeah, it could fit here. It's not too big. It's like half your body size, basically, with the planter thing.
That is small. I was thinking like one of those grand ones.
Just a tiny one. And then a couple weeks ago, my girlfriend was like, "Oh, we're gonna have a Christmas party. We usually go to somebody's house and have food and drinks and whatever." And then I realized that it's at her place, so that means that I probably am going to be doing a lot of cooking next week.
Yeah, I love cooking. I don't know what it is. I guess the only problem is like being confident about what you make for other people. So I just stick to grilling meat.
Yeah. I made lasagna last week. That was pretty good.
Cool. Nice. Lasagna. Sounds all right. I ate a huge ton of popcorn, which is very against my normal diet last night. I was so damn tired, working up until like 9 p.m. and past there. Yeah. It was
the real stuff?
Yeah. I popped it myself. Yeah, like that's what I do. You know what I was wondering? If they have, like that festive corn or that organic corn that has like purple kernels and shit, like wouldn't it be cool, or is it possible that like the kernels are like that? So when you pop, well, whatever you call them, not the kernels, but the seeds themselves or the corns, like when you pop them, you get all colors of popcorn. I wonder.
Well, probably the inside would be colored differently. I remember they used to dye like green and red popcorn.
Yeah, but without the toxic dye. I mean, if you go to what was it called, Kernels, that store, that popcorn store, they have all kinds of shit.
Yeah. But
I'm looking for the organic corn.
What was your go-to kernel?
I never really got into it. I don't really like flavored any. I don't have a sweet tooth, which like is surprising in a lot of ways. I used to when I was a kid, like Halloween and Christmas. I just rotted my teeth away. I got like tons of cavities when I was a kid. But then I stopped eating dessert, and now I just don't have a sweet tooth. And I never really got into like flavored popcorn. I'll tell you like. What I love though is just like sea salt and good butter. Oh man, that's killer. I love that stuff. And last night I put olive oil after popping the corn in a pan with butter, and then I put olive oil on it, and I put cayenne or paprika, I can't remember, on it, and salt. That was pretty good. And sometimes I'll put nutritional yeast on it. Woo, that's good. It's like fake cheese.
Yeah, you're doing that a lot here. I would do dill pickle.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh yeah, like those dill chips. Remember, like Pringles or whatever.
Yeah, they had a dill pickle kernels popcorn, and they used to do dill pickle Doritos, but I don't think you can find them anymore. That was
Doritos. The Doritos. What about that Cool
Diabetes.
Ranch?
Never a fan, really.
Wow, you're like the only person. That is some crazy lab shit. That whatever they put together to make Cool Ranch Doritos. I imagine it's like test tubes and shit, and it's like a glowing. The product is like there are lots of explosions, and the product is like this glowing chemical, and they're like, "Eureka! We've solved the flavor problem." I don't know.
It's like from Homer Simpson when he takes out of the nuclear plant.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, that shit is crack, man. Holy shit! And do you remember back in your part of the world right now? I remember I had a picture. I put it on Facebook, and you know how it sends you like memories. There was one that came up recently. I think it was like shrimp flavor or something, or no, seaweed flavored Pringles. That's right.
Oh yeah, there's all sorts of crazy things.
What's the craziest flavor?
There's hot pot. I had after like a long night out, I didn't eat anything because I'm doing the 1 meal a day, but then I just had drinks, and then so I didn't eat anything for probably 36 hours, and then as I was walking home, I just got some random chips, and they're just, I think they're shrimp, and you put them on your tongue and they just like dissolve. Those weird
yeah, nothing
that was the only thing I ate for 36 hours.
Nothing would surprise me after living in Asia. Nothing would surprise me. I love that. We've talked about it before. Like that newness factor. It's like completely gone on me. When you come back to North America, it's like, yeah, that happens. Like, whatever. Who cares? Everybody's like, isn't that weird? Or isn't that? It's like, no, it's not. I don't find that strange at all. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I've definitely lost my sense of amazement. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, it's maybe not as exciting, but it means you've been somewhere, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely evens out the peaks and valleys of my day. Yeah. And I'm a very excitable person by nature, so I guess it's good to have that average in mind. Right. So that was a long prelude. Let's get started if you're ready.
Yep.
All right. This one is called The Man and the Satyr. I don't know if I'm spelling that correct or pronouncing that correctly. The Man and the Satyr. A long time ago, a man met a satyr in the forest and succeeded in making friends with him. The two soon became the best of comrades, living together in the man's hut. But one cold winter evening, as they were walking homeward, that's a weird word, isn't it? Homeward. The satyr saw the man blow on his fingers. What's that?
Homeward bound.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Why do you do that? Saw him blowing his fingers. Why do you do that? Asked the satyr. To warm my hands, the man replied. When they reached home, the man prepared 2 bowls of porridge. These he placed steaming hot on the table, and the comrades sat down very cheerfully to enjoy the meal. But much to the satyr's surprise, the man began to blow into his bowl of porridge. Why do you do that? He asked. To cool my porridge, replied the man. The satyr sprang hurriedly to his feet and made for the door. Goodbye, he said. I've seen enough. A fellow that blows hot and cold in the same breath cannot be friends with me. Oh, that's unexpected. I don't always read these before it happens, so that was interesting. Do you want to guess the moral of this tale? And a satyr for your information, is like a goat boy. It's
Oh yeah, of course.
like a half boy from the waist up with goat feet.
Okay. Right. So this is a tough one. It's hard to articulate, but I think maybe something to do with I can't really. Yeah, I can't say it. It's something. I'm guessing it has something to do with almost like two-sided, like somebody that says one thing but does another, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. If you put it in a sentence, that's what we're looking for here. I'll give you another hint. You're on the right track, and use the word trust.
Trust. I can't trust somebody that is contradictory. I don't know.
Yeah, that's really damn accurate. You know, the man who talks for both sides is not to be trusted by either. Nice. Good job, Rat. That was good. Right. So there's a lot to unpack here in the story itself. I don't understand why it had to be a satyr. First of all, I'm not sure. I feel like there's got to be a choice, a reason for that, but I don't know my lore well enough. What is a satyr and what does it represent? But yeah, you've got a man in the forest.
What's its characteristic?
Yeah, exactly, because that's a strange choice. Why couldn't it be another man or a tree or something like that? Anyways, but cold winter evening, and he warms himself by blowing on his fingers. That's kind of interesting. And it seems contradictory at first, but I know this from playing wind instruments, right? But you blow on your fingers or your hands to warm yourself up, and you blow on your hot soup to cool it down. That seems contradictory, but having played the trumpet before, I know the difference between hot and cold breath. And if you push out from your mouth breath, right, it's colder. Not cold, but it's colder. And if you blow from deep within on your diaphragm, that's hot air, like the versus the different kinds of air. They're not like one's cold, but one's colder than the other. So there you go. A little bit of biology for you as well, or physics, who knows? But I knew that. And yeah, so can you trust somebody who talks for both sides? Absolutely not. Although there's a reason why we want people to play devil's advocate at times. But yeah, that's my initial thought. You cannot, no, but depending on the circumstance, you do want people to think for both sides or to talk for both sides.
Yeah, as long as they're not completely switching their ideals, like with who they talk to, I guess. If you're just looking at it from a different point of view, then that's a different story. My guess on the wind, when you're breathing into your hands, it's much closer. You know, you kind of have it like cupped around your mouth, and then the distance and velocity of the wind, maybe has
it's not that. Here, you don't have glasses, right? But you could test this out. No. Like if you just go right, that will not fog up your glasses. And if you breathe like that will fog them up. There's a lot more humidity and moisture in there, as well as it's coming from deeper within, so it's hot. Trust me, that's true. I remember that from playing wind instruments. They're like, it's got to come from deep within.
That makes sense, but if you tried to go on your porridge, The wind's not going to get there. It's going to cool off by the time it reaches it. Obviously, it's not going to hit it either, but yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, talking from both sides. That's like a politician's trick.
Oh, I wish they did. Well, I think. Okay, so returning to the moral, it says the man who talks for both sides. So I think that's the key. Is not to be trusted. Not. Yeah. So like it would be like saying who talks for both sides. It's like not a mediator because they don't do that either. Does a psychologist do that? They don't really talk for both sides. They help
a relation.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of people. So. It's like a double crosser. I guess a politician will do that disingenuously, right? Yeah. So I guess you're right. Like a politician, but they don't represent both sides. So that's the important thing.
Yeah, they. I mean, they'd probably change their tone and their message depending on who they're speaking with. That's what I was thinking. The crowds.
Mm-hmm. Talks for both sides. Yeah. A fellow that blows hot and cold. There's a few things in there because like we have a term for people who blow hot. Like we use that as a phrase. You're blowing hot and cold. I mean, it's like I can't figure out what your point is, right? You're off and on this versus the moral who says what that says. Who talks for both sides? It seems a little different, right? I don't know. I guess I don't like it when I'm trying to think of like professions that do that. Yeah, politicians, I suppose. Because they're genuine. They're not really being honest often. They're just they need your vote, so they'll tell you what you need to do. Then you get them in office. It's like, sorry, I'm here for 4 years. Now I can do whatever I want. But who else does that? I guess like there
business
are certain
people, maybe.
Yeah. Or like if you go to like a store, like for clothing, sometimes you'll get people who just say whatever the hell to get you to buy something, and then you'll be like, oh, what do you think? And it's like, yeah, it looks good. It's like, I don't really want it. It's like, no, yeah, that's not really you. It's like, okay, well, was it the right thing for me? Stick to your guns, man. So I think that's true. I'm about to go look for houses, by the way, or like a rental house. So moving out of the basement this weekend. And I feel like realtors might be like that sometimes. Yeah, we'll see.
Just salespeople in general.
Yeah, salespeople. There you go. Salespeople in general. Because it doesn't matter. They're making commission one way or the other, right? Unless you have a personal relationship with that person, which luckily we do have. My girlfriend has a personal relationship with the realtor that's helping us find a place. So that might be different. But yeah, I feel in general like a salesperson is going to say whatever. Like I guess the classic would be the door-to-door salesman, right? They'll tell you, they'll say anything. But I guess they wouldn't shit on their product, right? They would just say like, this is the greatest thing ever. Okay, you don't want it. Okay, thanks for your time. So I guess that's not entirely true, but a salesperson, when you're on the lot, right? They'll say whatever. Like if you've gone there you go, used car salesman. That's the one.
Yeah, I've had no experience with those people, though, so I couldn't really say for sure. I just know the stereotype of them.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great car. You'll love it. No, okay, you could do better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really being client-facing now is kind of interesting. I actually don't feel that's... I don't have that in my interactions with clients. Because we're both trying to push a point of view. And I just came off a long call on an internal review of something. So like technically they're clients of something. And it was very honest, I thought. And my interactions with, big corporations, or at least the representatives that I deal with, have have been very honest, actually, and that's surprising. You know, I guess it's because we both have something that we want to get, and it's more of a negotiation. So honesty is really important. So maybe I'm actually walking this back a bit. There's not a lot of people like that, but those people that do exist cannot be trusted. Can you think of anybody from like our shared past, without using names, who did that a lot?
Well, first with the story, what I thought he was gonna do, I thought that goat boy was gonna stick his hands into the porridge. For some reason, I thought that he's like something about warming hands, but yeah, the story's not the best because first of all, it doesn't really even give an example of him doing something wrong or anything like that. He's just the goat boy's not trusting of people that talk from both sides. He must have had some bad experiences, but
with his goat people.
I can't think of anybody specifically like that would because you would probably remember it. It would have been some sort of lie they told. Like you would have heard it from somebody else that they said something, shitty about somebody. It would have been this kind of triangle. I think that's what people say about Canadians, right? That like you'll be polite to start, and then if somebody like they leave, and then they're like, "Oh, that guy's an asshole."
Oh, that's a good one. I know a lot of immigrants who would agree with that. Yeah, no, that's a good point. We're known. Well, I've heard that so often, and I have this penchant for dating people apparently who are not Canadian. I don't know why. It just happens, and I've heard that a lot. Like we're not very warm people. We don't say what we mean. I think part of it that's misunderstood about Canadians is I think we genuinely may not give a shit. Like other people do. Everybody's got these problems and politics. I'm like, I'm sorry, we just don't have that. Like I genuinely don't care. I promise you. I have these arguments all the time with my girlfriend. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Like, I really don't care. I don't think that that's something I need to give a shit about, right? So that doesn't go over very well. Mm-hmm. So I think there's a slight misunderstanding about Canadians, but I think in general that's true. Canadians are not do kind of talk behind each other's back, or are more prone to do that, or not to, at the very least not to be honest to each other's faces. But the flip side is it's kind of like a fuck it approach to life.
And it's kind of it's a nicety. Like, would you rather that person be nasty to your face and behind your back?
Yeah. Here's an interesting one. That's a good point, because they'll say, if you ask somebody, like, let's just say an immigrant, whatever, general term. If you ask an immigrant or somebody from a different culture that, they say, yes, I'd prefer the honesty. But then they're hurt by it. It's like, you wanted that? Right? And then they have this very negative view of things that colors everything because that they experience these negative things over and over again. So, did you want it really? Was it worth it? I don't know.
Yeah. I'd prefer everybody to be, socially polite. And if you didn't like me, well, whatever. You don't have to tell me to my face. All right.
Yeah. I think that culture is super fascinating. I've done a little bit of study on it and how it forms like the filter through which we see things. And I remember being in Austria and like the supreme negativity of people living in one of the nicest parts of one of the nicest countries on the planet. Beautiful speaking. But everything was, alles ist fertig, it's always over. So definitely culture plays a part in it. But, yeah. Are Canadians double talkers? I don't know. I don't think so.
just maybe to some degree, but also with the unfriendly part, I think that depends on where you are. Because if you go to a small town, like I'm from a small town, people are very friendly. Like if you go to the grocery store, they're like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?"
Yeah.
Like
If you're from one of those,
it
hey,
depends
do you
on
know
if you're in a
Jack?
city
Yeah,
or a small
everybody
town.
knows Jack towns. Yeah. I've never been from a place like that, so I don't know. I've always been a big city guy.
Yeah, I thought of a person kind of. I mean, it's not much of a story, but the I worked with somebody as a dishwasher, and this guy was I don't know. He may have been a compulsive liar, or he was telling the truth, but it's was really hard to tell. So it kind of got mixed in, I guess. Like you weren't sure if he was ever lying or telling the truth. He was claiming he was a pilot, and I think he had video of himself flying and stuff like that, but I don't know. It was just nobody could ever really trust the guy, I guess, because he always had
Mm.
these crazy stories, but you're never quite sure if it was real or not. So in that sense, I mean, yeah, you can't trust it. But I haven't really come across too many people. It's too easy these days to fact check and figure out what's real and what's not. When the internet wasn't
Yeah.
around and you didn't have a
Yeah, sure.
smartphone, you could
Yeah.
BS people a lot easier.
Yeah, has its drawbacks and its positives and negatives. That whole nightmare. Yeah. I guess it's the whole moral runs on the understanding of what it mean of whether or not we're talking about people just being, you know, understanding of different sides, or being disingenuous and being and lying. Um, I don't know, person who talks for both sides, because like if you a man who talks for both sides, it sounds like, a mediator. And now I'm going back and changing my earlier opinion. A mediator is somebody who does talk for both sides, I guess, like a marriage counselor, I guess, talks for both sides, right? They're trying to get people. It's like, oh well, you need to understand that this side's looking for this, right? Now I'll go back and represent you to the other party, right? So we wouldn't have these people or these professions. I mean, mediation's like an old profession in by different names for, centuries, right? That's always existed. Diplomacy. I mean, if you're people who aren't representing diplomats who aren't representing a specific country, they talk for both sides. I don't know if that's not a bad thing, because you do need to talk for both sides. You do need to represent the intentions of
Yeah.
others. And I guess, like I'm saying from earlier in my when these client experiences, I am in a way talking for them and represent and talking for us too, and we're trying to reach, a conclusion that satisfies both. So I don't know. I guess it just, again, it's about whether or not this is about being, being a liar or not.
Try doing
Google.
a quick search on.
Oh, Goat Boy. Oh, what does a
what's that
satyr
thing
represent?
called? Goat Boy. No.
Oh,
Yeah, like what's its characteristics?
one of a class of lustful, drunken
satyr
woodland
is
gods. In Greek art, they represent as a man with a horse's ears and tail, but in Roman, as a man with goat's ears, tail, legs, and horns. What do we have here? I'm looking at the picture. We've got a Roman one. Is this a Roman? Yeah, we got a Roman representation. Early artistic. Yeah, okay, so I know what they are. We got a Roman. What are satyrs known for? By their ribaldry, and were known as lovers of wine, music, dancing, and women. They were companions of the god Dionysus, and were believed to inhabit remote locales, such as woodlands. Okay, great, obviously. This made up the chorus. This is where satire comes from. Huh. Which is a comical representation of something. Terminology, yeah, is support the fact Euripides, iconography. I don't know. Indo-European origin? Behavior? Yeah, what were you gonna say? I'm still looking at this. Fascinating.
Oh, I was just thinking. I mean, this guy is kind of like a lush, somebody who loves wine and women, and I mean, he probably doesn't keep the best company. Probably not the most trustworthy people. That's why he's so skittish when he sees this guy
If you were if you were looking
blowing
at the
two
pictures
different
here, you would
objects
find what you just said funny.
for hot and cold.
They are known for their ribaldry. In the Hellenistic era, there we are. Okay, I don't care about that. Ancient Rome identified satyrs with their own nature spirits. The fauns generally lacked upper bodies. I don't care. Satyrs and fauns, music and depicted playing the pan pipe. Yeah, I know that. First century Roman naturalists. Savage and wild people. Distinct voice and speech they have none, but instead thereof they keep a horrible gnashing and hideous noise. Okay, doesn't sound like our satyr.
But that's what I mean. I mean, these guys are not really keeping great company, it seems. So that's
Yeah,
why this
I think
Scope Boy
they
is
wouldn't
pretty
care
standoffish.
because they're drunks.
He's
It's not like
skittish.
drunks are known for keeping great company, right? I don't. Yeah, maybe he's
No.
drunk and he's like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, maybe
going
he's
on?
been burned a few times.
I think we have to view this tale from the perspective that this satyr is drunk and it's not making sense. Yeah, and I think that's a great way to come back onto my interpretation of this fable, which has totally changed from the start to the end. I think that satyr is drunk, and I don't agree with this necessarily. The man who talks for both sides is not to be trusted. That seemed like at first like duh, obviously don't trust them. But I think if it's just saying who talks for both sides, well, people do that all the time and probably should. And I think we need a bit more of that, a little bit more empathy, you know. So I wouldn't trust this drunk satyr on this tale.
Yeah, because that guy was just doing some logical actions, and the satyr didn't even know that those were possible things that you could do to warm your hands and cool food. So obviously, he's not the most wise person.
Yeah.
So listening to the
That's my
satyr's
conclusion.
moral
So I'm
might not be the
thumbs
best
down.
idea.
A man who was it? The man. The man who talks for both sides is not to be trusted by either. No, I don't think so. I think you should probably do a little bit more talking for both sides, as long as you're being honest about it.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have some
Yeah,
knowledge on
and
both sides, I think that's a
so I guess don't
better thing
be
than
a
just
drunk
knowledge about one
satyr.
thing. Hmm. So try not to
Yeah,
be a satyr this
yeah.
Christmas. Keep it
That's a good
together.
moral to end this on. A good message to end this on. Right then, give us a like if you're listening and you're enjoying. Leave us a comment if you have something you'd like us to do or change. And other than that, see you next time.
Yes, so we got the one listener. Give us a review on Spotify, that one listener.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it. All right, people. Talk to you next time.
Bye-bye.